Game opened with the Richter-Rauser variation of the Sicilian defense. Tal continues with e6, queen d2, preparing the castle queenside, a6, preventing knight jumping to b5 and putting pressure on d6, and castle by Kasparov. Bishop d7, f4, b5, threatening b4 to remove the defender of e4. Bishop takes knight, and instead of queen takes, Tal opt for g takes bishop. It's a known opening tactic that if you take with the queen, white could play e5, and after pawn takes pawn, the d-file is opened and white has a devastating move, knight takes b5, with a discovered attack on the bishop that lead to checkmate. So black is forced to move the queen back, a very unpleasant position for black. Anyway, after pawn takes pawn, knight takes and bishop takes back. Queen e1 by Kasparov, bishop e7, bishop d3, and queen b6. Kasparov moves the king to b1, castle queenside by Tal, rook f1, bishop b7, f5, king b8, and queen to g3. Tal continued with queen c5, pawn got exchanged, knight e2, Tal offered queen exchange, and Kasparov refused with knight f4, also adding pressure to e6. Rook d to e8 indirectly defends e6. Rook d to e1, nicely aligning the rook with black's queen. Rook e to g8 attacks the queen. Queen h3 attacks the pawn, and bishop to c8 defends. Kasparov continues with queen e3 threatening b3 check. Tal once again offers queen trade. Kasparov refuses. Rook g5, c3, rook e5, bishop back to c2, threatening knight d3 to fork the queen and rook. Another queen trade offers. Kasparov refuses again, and rook back to g5, bishop b3 hitting the queen. Queen c6, knight f4, putting pressure on e6. Rook defends, queen c2, queen c7, g3, and for some reason Tal played the losing move, bishop b7, disregarding e6. Kasparov also for some reason didn't take the pawn and instead moved the king to a1, f5, takes, knight d3 hitting the rook, bishop e4 pinning the knight, and Kasparov beautifully sacked the exchange. He follows with bishop d5 attacks the rook, rook e3, knight b4, threatening to fork the queen and king a7 defends, a4, queen c5, pawn takes, and Tal once again plays the losing move bishop f6. Kasparov followed with rook take f5, threatening to capture the undefended bishop while x-raying white queen. Rook c8 by Tal, and Kasparov threw away his advantage with knight c6 check. Tal continued with king b6, bishop b3, rook e1 check, king a2, and Tal played the astonishing pawn takes b5, completely ignoring the attacked queen, which Kasparov took. Rook h8 check, only move bishop h4, rook takes, king b3, pawn takes rook, and now the material is equalized with two rooks and a bishop versus a queen and knight. Here Kasparov played the losing move that completely sealed the game, queen f5, but Tal didn't find the strongest reply. He played rook e2 instead of rook c1, which would have maintained his advantage. Kasparov defended with knight a5, covering c4 to prevent checkmate. Tal once again sacrificed his piece with rook b4 check, and unfortunately Kasparov accepted the sacrifice, which led to mate in 2. Tal converted flawlessly, and the game was over.